Yeah, the sun's out and it looks warm, but it's cold. I think it's about as cold as Lucifer's hind tit. And what's with this bright sun, man? Everything is conspiring against me to get this shot. I'm gonna have to go in because it's like 10 degrees. So, things I want to mention real quick. This week's gonna be no fun whatsoever. The temperature's gonna go right down. Can't get anything done outside. There's gonna be no cycling, or run, workout, or any of that kind of stuff. It's just gonna be kind of boring computer work, but it leaves me time for some video editing. So I want to tell people about the upcoming open days that we've got. Right, so we've got two coming up. One's January 26th, Saturday, 10 till 4 p.m. The next one is on February 2nd, 10 till 4 p.m. And the timing of that is important because these are the last two Saturdays before we start the Deathproof Resolution Challenge, which is powered by the Lurong system, which is currently underway right now. The Lurong Resolution Challenge has been running for a week now, and people are starting to lose all kinds of weight and what have you. And the great thing about the Deathproof Challenge is we did a little bit of science around the psychology of behavioral change, and it turns out that this whole notion of 21 days in order to adapt a new habit is from a very specific source, and it doesn't really apply to this. And I'll talk a little bit about that in greater detail with a future post, but it turns out around about 66 days is actually how long it takes for you to adopt a new habit. So given that it's going to be 66 days, we made this a 12-week challenge. What's particularly exciting for me in this challenge is that Lurong has worked with us to allow our specific programming to be used. It is 12 weeks long, no, 5 weeks long, and we've got some of our own information in there that Lurong doesn't touch on. I'm thinking specifically information around time-restricted feeding and vastly improved sleep, which are super critical to all humans, which is nice. We're going to start to ramp up the number of vlog posts that we make, and soon you're going to start seeing us getting into some really awesome podcasts. Beginning with some of the local folks here in town, but we got all kinds of people lined up from the world of base jumping and BMX and all kinds of extreme sports, as well as Olympians. People are just dying to talk to us about all kinds of stuff about their health and fitness. So I keep seeing this energy balance stuff coming up again and again, and I don't get it. I mean, I kind of do. I understand people think that they got a handle on the first law of thermodynamics, but they don't, right? That they're misapplying it. First of all, you know, this whole idea of energy balance when it comes to losing fat, losing weight, and what have you, the first law of thermodynamics is a law. It's universal. It applies all the time, right? So to say that this energy balance thing is a consequence of the first law of thermodynamics is to fundamentally miss the point in terms of your logic, right? It is vacuously true. Of course, in order to increase the amount of fat that you have on you, you have to consume more than you expel in energy. That goes without saying. But how you expel the energy is also vitally important, because energy is not just the exercise that you do. Otherwise, your poop would be cold. Ooh, my breath is warm and is humid, right? There's another piece, right? Neither of those two things were talked about. In fact, when we're talking about this kind of stuff, it would be much more useful if we started to talk about where the fat that you lose goes, because energy isn't the thing that makes you heavy. Fat is the thing that makes you heavy, right? Actual matter. And there's a principle in chemistry that we use called the principle of conservation of mass that says basically at the start of a reaction, however much mass you've got will be conserved when a reaction has happened and we have new substrates as a result of that reaction happening. So you take in food, the food is oxidized, and then there's some stuff, right? So what's the food and how does it get oxidized? Well, I've got a little video coming up that I made that kind of shows how this happens for carbohydrates and fat. It's kind of simplistic, but it does generally show you how there is a conservation of mass consideration and effectively where this fuel goes once you do burn it off. And once you understand where the fuel goes, you can see immediately what the levers are for losing weight. It becomes very simple. So, take a look at that. Don't forget, Atronic Functional Fitness and Deathproof CrossFit right now. If you join the 045 AM class, you can do that 5 times a week for $89 per month, and for as long as you keep that membership, you keep that price. You could go on paying $89 for the rest of your natural born time on this planet if you just keep up your membership. Imagine what kind of shape you'd be in then. Monster.